Good afternoon, friends and fellow students. Most school years begin with some level of chaos for every family. But this year's challenge for our family was an early trip to the emergency department. My son was shoved from behind the second day of football practice by another student. His head hit a metal door frame hard enough to split the skin, resulting in staples and what the doctor said was a mild concussion. This was not Elton's first concussion. 2 concussions may not sound like a lot, but my son has not even reached puberty. I began to research concussions to find some way to rest easily that there couldn't be any lasting damage. I was very wrong. My research, I stumbled across many references to CTE, or chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Of course, I had never heard of this, so I was compelled to dig deeper. Digging deeper led me to the movie Concussion, based on the true story of Dr. Bennett O'Malley and his discovery of this scary disease. Imagine that you are the family of a 4-time Super Bowl winning champion. This man is 6 foot tall, strong, and seems to have everything that anyone could ever want. Iron Mike Webster was known for using his head in every game that he played. Shortly before his death, Mr. Webster had alienated himself from family and friends. His erratic behavior included pulling out his own teeth and supergluing them back in his mouth and tasing himself to stop shakes or to get some sleep. He was living in his vehicle when he died of a heart attack at 50 years old. Dr. O'Malley was the physician assigned to perform his autopsy. This was his first exposure to the disease that he would later call CTE. Dr. O'Malley found that when Mr. Webster's brain had plaques that were like those found in the brains of Alzheimer's patients. The dementia that Mr. Webster had exhibited would be expected with what he found in the dissected slides of the brain. But his question was, why so early? Alzheimer's disease would usually have a later onset, and the behavior was so erratic that Dr. O'Malley did not stop researching. By some chance, very soon another young athlete would die, a suicide this time. That gave Dr. O'Malley another brain to study. Over many years, more former athletes would even will Dr. O'Malley their brains to try to make his case stronger as he battled the NFL for change to the way football was played. Some changes have been implemented, such as better performing helmets and changes to rules that reduce risky behavior on the field. The NFL has even implemented the 88 plan, which pays former players up to $88,000 per year if they are diagnosed with dementia. There is still great controversy, and the athletic world continues to try to rebuke the science that many researchers have publicized. One study found that of 112 former NFL players, 111 had the same plaques that Mr. O'Malley had first autopsied in Mr. Webster's brain. This neuropathologist's data was not taken seriously by the NFL. The NFL has claimed to spend millions on their own research, but the one study they have made public did not even include football players, but rather horse jockeys. There's no clear idea yet how many hits to the head would cause CTE, nor a minimum, besides 0, that might guarantee avoiding the disease altogether. Dr. O'Malley explained that the brain, while supported by the skull, even when wearing a helmet, at impact can be damaged by the effect of the brain bouncing off the skull. The head injuries over periods of time cause proteins called tau to form in clumps that kill brain cells. CTE has been diagnosed in people as young as 17, but symptoms do not begin to appear until years after the onset of the head impacts. My biggest concern is what to look for in my son. The symptoms can include any of the following: memory loss, confusion, personality changes, erratic behavior, aggression, problems paying attention and organizing thoughts, difficulty with balance and motor skills. There is not much at this point that I can do to reverse the damage that has already occurred. I can help my son to try to limit the number of times he hits his head in the future, and this will be my mission. We will avoid direct contact sports, and he always worn a helmet on anything with wheels that he can fall from. While I'm confident that we are not dealing with anything quite like Mr. Webster's trauma, I will continue to follow the science of this disease. Thank you.